Okay, I've had my first crack at this whole pre-record my voice and then add video on top of it thing. Yeah, I figure that's probably the best way to do these so that I can adjust my gameplay based on the things that I need to mention in the video. Hopefully that worked out okay, and hopefully it continues to work okay as I continue on. Alright, Pidgey, come on down! There's only sort of a hint of luck involved with this one, so it should be somewhat easy to explain. Clearly the Pidgeys that come out of Scyther's patches of grass are not the ones you're going for. They're just kind of ignoring you, and leading Meowth away from the evil Scyther in the grass! Okay, now, under normal non-glitchy circumstances, the best Pidgeys to get would be right at the end of the level. Which, by the way, I failed to show in the actual run-through. My bad. But, this is the N64 era! There's bound to be glitchiness somewhere! And getting the best Pidgey picture is where it's gonna happen. But I'll show these Pidgeys at the end first. So, with these Pidgeys, the only way you're gonna be able to get a really good picture is when you get a picture of this closer Pidgey using Gust on Meowth. Make sure you actually get a picture while he's using Gust, otherwise your pose points are gonna be bad. I suppose you can also zoom ahead of these two Pidgeys and get a picture of them like this, but you're not gonna get a better picture like this. Oh yeah, and the flute does nothing. And if you end up hitting one of these two Pidgeys with an apple or a pester ball, they'll just fly away. So don't do that! Hitting any of the other Pidgeys with apples or pester balls doesn't do anything, so don't bother with them either. So, now we're left with these three Pidgeys right at the beginning of the level. That's right, the first Pokemon you ever see in the entire game is actually the one that'll end up giving you the best picture. So, because there's no other special pose points you can get with Pidgey besides when it uses Gust, you might ask how in the world you get a good picture of these. Well, if you look behind you after you pass these three Pidgeys, you'll see that they actually follow you for a bit, and then for whatever reason they use Gust, which doesn't actually conjure up any Gust, but they try. So what's the best thing to use to be able to slow down enough and get much closer to these Pidgeys, you ask? If you guessed glitchiness, you are correct! Yeah, get ready to get a bit dizzy with these next few video clips. Yeah, this left and right C button trick is sort of a glitchy thing, but as I've mentioned, it can be extremely helpful when it comes to getting the best pictures of some Pokemon. So, if you do end up using the C buttons a little bit to slow down, you can end up right beside Pidgey when he's using Gust to get a really good picture. However, this still isn't enough. If you just sort of randomly use the C buttons to get beside the Pidgeys, you can never really get a great picture, because the three of them are never quite in the picture enough and lined up well enough to give you lots of points for three of the same Pokemon. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have a method! What I do is, right off the bat, I use the C button 10 times in very quick succession at the beginning of the level, and then I just get my camera ready facing behind me. The way that you can tell you've done it quick enough is, after spinning 90 degrees 10 times and getting your camera ready, off in the distance behind you, you should be able to hear the other two Pidgeys sort of announce their arrival like this. Yeah, if you do it too slowly, they'll appear before you finish spinning, and you won't be able to get your good picture lined up well enough. So, if you get that done successfully, just aim for the first Pidgey you see. He'll eventually start veering off to your right, but then he'll stop and use his Gustless Gust. So, to get the best possible picture, get a picture of this Pidgey just good enough so that he's not so close that he fills the picture too much, but not so far away that the Pidgey coming up behind him actually passes him. If you can get this entire sequence of things just right, eventually you should get a picture something like this. The Pidgey that you actually get a picture of doesn't really have to be a perfect 4,500 points, although that would probably make it better. You should be more so concerned with getting the other two Pidgeys as much in the picture as you can. Now, to end off this video, I'd like to thank YouTube user PackAttack04082, because it was actually this guy who created the video that showed me how to do this myself. And he's actually the one who introduced me to using that C button trick in his videos. So, without having watched those, I would have never been able to create this video myself. PackAttack04082, I bow to your greatness. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you when we go for Meowth!